Hey guys, it's Rod at the Dragon Winged Inn. We're done with our little OP7 tournament, so we're back to what you might call exhibition games. Today we've got Monsters versus Adventurers. I am playing the Monsters, and Jay's playing the Adventurers this time. And again, like I did with the old Adventurers versus Dragons video, I'm actually recording this before we play the game, so I'll show you my list and tell you what I think it might be good for, or what my strategy might be, and then when we actually play the game, we'll find out how it goes, and you'll see Jay's list, and you'll see the game. So let's go ahead. All right, here's my monster list. We're starting with Seti Ram, the Hyraka Sphinx, who's done good work for me before, and especially in this game, I think his special ability plus 3 defense dice versus spell attacks will probably be germane because I'm expecting Nemestra to show up on Jay's team. I mean, if I was building adventurers, that's what I did and what I would still do. Seti Ram, anyway, Seti Ram has Pounce and Rake, his two multi-attack upgrades, which together give him a total of 5 attacks at range 1 in close combat. I put evasive maneuvers on him just to give him a little plus 3 defense dice versus 1 attack only. And I did that just because I anticipate Seti Ram to be a high value attacker, and I want to protect him a little bit. Finally, I put aggressive surge on him. That's one we haven't seen before. It's an upgrade where if he charges and overlaps someone, overlaps their base, he can disable aggressive surge to disable an equipment card on the creature he overlapped. It's kind of weird and situational, but I mean, I'm going against adventurers. They're going to have equipment. Like, if there's any time for me to play this upgrade, it's now, so I just thought I'd give it a try. Strictly speaking, Ferocious would be the better upgrade in this case. Um, Moving on, next we've got Xeno, the Mind Flayer. This is my first time to play him on this channel. We've seen Jay play him twice. I went ahead and decided to stack him to the gills with the upgrades that came in his expansion. So first off, I've got the Mind Blast cone attack that ignores armor completely, so Calamity can't. Calamity's special ability is irrelevant. It does cost a concentrate token. You have to spend it to do the attack, which is pretty costly. I mean, if you compare Mind Blast to a breath weapon, it's strictly worse than a breath weapon. I mean, I think that's deliberate to keep dragons sort of on top of the heap. It's a reasonable design choice, but it does make it a little hard for me to justify the cost on this Mind Blast, but I thought I'd give it a try. And furthermore, double down on Mind Blast by taking Psychic Crush, which is a one-shot upgrade that when you damage someone with your Mind Blast, you can put the Psychic Crush effect on them, and they can't attack anything that turn. And again, that is pretty expensive for a one-turn control effect, especially one that's at least partially redundant with Xeno's special ability, which is that if he damages someone, they can't attack him that round. But we'll give it a try. I mean, you're sort of kind of at the mercy of luck. I could roll great on a Mind Blast and feel great about taking it, or I could roll terrible on a Mind Blast and feel not so great about taking it. Of course, if I can at least get 1 damage through on the Mind Blast, the Psychic Crush can still trigger and sort of maybe be a consolation prize for a bad Mind Blast roll. We'll see how it goes. I've also got Dominator, which we've seen a lot of. Xeno's action that lets him force an opponent to move a one maneuver and then land if he wants them to. Dominator can also be used to that disables Dominator, but you can also just use Dominator to take an action to remove a time token from your Mind Blast. So if you want to Mind Blast again and sooner, you can. We'll see if I do that. And Extract Brain, of course, gives Xeno, if he hits someone with his tentacles, he gets an extra attack. 3 dice, ignores armor, can't be defended against. So that's nice. And for his spell, I gave him Shatter. It gives him something to do at range 4, and it's takes it flips an opponent's armor token, lowers their armor by 1, so that's potentially could help SETI Ram with his getting his damage through. So we'll see if there's some synergy there. Next we've got Anchoram, the Stone Giant. I used him before in one of our videos as sort of a supporting creature and backup attacker. This time I'm using him as more of an autonomous attacker. So first he's got his Slammed upgrade, which when he damages someone with his Rock Throw, he can disable Slam to knock all their target and concentrate tokens off them. That's pretty relevant to an adventurer's match since, you know, you're going to be seeing wizards. Like I said, probably going to be seeing Nemestra if I'm not in a situation where I can, you know, suppress her attack with Xeno. Maybe Anchoram can knock off her tokens, keep her from casting a spell. As I've mentioned before, one problem with Slam can be, you know, getting it to stick because of Anchoram's lowish attack value. So I gave him Monstrous Aim, which is a one-shot upgrade that you use once, and it gives him +2 attack dice for 1 attack. So that'll help with sticking that you know, control effect. I also gave him the Arrow Catching Shield, +1 defense die versus melee attacks, +2 defense dice versus ranged attacks. I had it on him before. I like it on him. I like it in general, especially on creatures with maybe, you know, he starts with 2 defense dice, I believe, and you know, anytime you have 2 defense dice, if you can start piling on defense dice, it just gets better. And finally, for his arcane spell, I gave him Disintegrate. So, you know, enough said. That's the big penetrating attack spell in the game, and he's got it. And finally, filling out the last 30 points of my force, I've got Malabolge, the named gargoyle, who we've never played a gargoyle on this channel, so now's the time, I guess. This would be a great slot for a ballista, but the ballista is not a monster. I hope we can all agree on that. Anyway, Malabolge is not a bad choice, I think, for this, because once again, I'm playing adventurers, and he gets 2 extra attack dice versus creatures on the ground. And usually adventurers, I mean, at least half of his army is got to be on the ground. I don't think there's a way to get more than 2 at least what I would consider adventurers in the air. You know, you've got your fly spell, you've got your giant vulture. I can't think of any other way to do that. I wouldn't consider, like, Sarpiel, for example, to be an adventurer, quote unquote. And I don't think Jay thinks that either. So anyway, that's sort of what Malabolge is doing in here. He's got alertness just to fill out a point, which gives him an extra defense die at range 3, in addition to range 4. And that's it. So now we're going to find out what Jay ended up playing. Oh, let me try to call it. Nemestra, Drizzt, Owen Montes. Drizzt is, of course, the Drow Elf Ranger. Owen Montes, the Earth Genasi fighter. We just got that. He just got one as a result of the OP7 tournament, so I think he's going to want to play that. And maybe generic Paladin and generic Druid. Does that feel like something Jay would do? Not necessarily, but maybe. Okay, let's try Nemestra, Drizzt, Owen, and Ulfgar, full-on attacking. That seems more Jay. Let's see if I'm right. Alright, here's Jay's list. Looks like I was right about Drizzt and Owen, but not about the rest of the guys. It's totaling out to 192 because I couldn't put everything on the list because there were some illegalities, as it turns out. Jay threw together on the spot, so some things got missed. But I'll walk you through what he ended up playing, and you know, we'll just roll with it. So first we've got Drizzt, the Drow Elf Ranger. He's got Elven Accuracy, which is a disable that lets him turn his bow attacks to penetrating damage. Many Shot, I believe, is a time token and discard that lets him shoot pretty much everything in his forward arc on one shot. Brilliant energy arrows, piece of equipment that is a time token to make his bow shot penetrating and discard. So he's got two different ways to get penetrating damage. He can do that twice in a row, 2 turns in a row if he need be, I guess is the idea there. Guinevere, his Magic Panther statuette, or however that works. Basically, it's I believe 2 time tokens and it's disabled to activate it, and then it pops out and gives him an extra melee primary attack for 2 turns. And Control Weather, of course, is a divine spell that creates a big range 3 radius blast that makes everyone land in the radius. Good for a mostly grounded force to keep everyone hittable. Next, we've got Owen Montes, the Genasi fighter, Earth Genasi, whatever that is. I actually know what it is. It's some kind of elemental hybrid character. Anyway, you can Wikipedia that, obviously. He's a fighter. He's got power attack, lets him convert a hit to a crit on his melee attacks. Furious Blow is a one-shot discard to get +2 attack dice on a melee attack. Helm of Leadership gives him an extra heroic slot and also reduces the cost of all his heroics. And he's using that to add a Warhorse to Owen Montes, although I don't recall if he actually ended up using that. Maybe he did, and I just didn't notice it. And he's got the Great Sword of Life Stealing. Gives him an extra attack die, and he can disable it if he hits and does damage. He can disable it to heal one of his own damage cards. So that's pretty handy. Next, we've got Mortimer Flax, the Air Cultist Rogue, riding his Giant Vulture, a mount that basically gives him a flying dial. He's also got Disembowel, an upgrade which you can only take if you have the Vulture. If you deal lethal damage to someone, you can discard Disembowel to instantly remove them from the battlefield. Now, of course, Mortimer Flax is only level 10, so there's a limited, compared to, say, Mogros, there's a limited range of creatures that he can really effectively use that ability on, but, could come in handy. He's got the Frost Battle Axe for an extra attack die, and now here was one of the illegalities is he had Holy Warhammer on Mortimer Flax, giving him 2 weapons, but you can actually only have Holy Warhammer if you're a good creature, and Mortimer Flax is evil, so flag on that play. But just so you know, that's what he's using during the game, Frost Battle Axe, Holy Warhammer, because we didn't catch it. Then we've got Aaron Creston, the Water Cultist Ranger. He's got Blackguard's Mail. He's got Command. Blackguard's Mail gives him an armor of 2 and lets him convert a crit to a hit when he's attacked. And of course, Command is the divine spell that lets you take control of an opposing creature's dial. We've seen it a lot on the channel. He's also got another flagged character. He had Challenge to bring enemy flying creatures down to swooping, but he is a ranger, and Challenge can only be used by fighters and paladins and maybe barbarians, I think. We haven't seen a barbarian yet until the Fire Cultist comes out. But anyway, there's that. And he also had the Adamantine Lance, giving him penetrating damage, but that is illegal because he only has 1 equipment slot. He has 1 heroic and 2 equipment, and Jay thought it was the other way around. So once again, we're just rolling with it because we didn't catch it on the day of the game. And finally, he's got a generic Red Wizard of Thay with the Eldritch Blast, Lightning Bolt, a couple of basic spell attacks. And we are ready to, that's it, we're ready to play the game. Alright, let's watch the game. We've got some terrain today that Jeremy put out. The wall in the middle is a ground obstacle. The 2 Orb of Devastation tokens are air obstacles, and the pillar stone pillar-looking things are ground and area impassable, meaning you have to back up off them if you overlap them. We've got Jay's Red Wizard moving forward here, taking a dodge token. Jay's set up in a staggered formation. I should have asked him a little more about that. I'm not sure exactly what he was going for. I guess he had an idea about about what speed he wanted these guys to contact the opponent. Maybe we'll be able to figure something out as we keep watching. Make a guess as to what the secret is, if any. Gargoyle comes forward and charges. Takes a charge token, that is. And he's not really going forward, he's going to the right. He got a little distracted. This will be the Water Cult Ranger, Aaron Creston, taking a dodge token. And Air Cult Warrior, Mortimer Flax, on his Vulture. And he is dodging, yeah, okay. So, fairly cautious. And he'll go on to City Ram. Going 4 forward. I'm going to take a dodge token, I think. Yeah, I was thinking about whether I wanted to dodge or charge. I decided I didn't necessarily want him to get that far out, especially with Drizzt over there. I don't know. We'll see if that was a good decision. Owen Montes coming in. Looks like he's used Warhorse to go 3 instead of a 2. Back to the right and dodging. And after that we'll do Anchor Ram going 3 forward. Pretty aggressive. I don't really have hardly any control on this build other than the Psychic Crush and Dominator on Xeno. I'm starting to realize usually I like having the control elements to sort of tune the matchup and decide what fights I want to fight. Who do I feel like letting attack this round? I mean, obviously, anyone would like that, but the point being that when I'm playing just pretty much aggression like this, I kind of at sea a little. Drizzt, I think, is gonna concentrate. All right. He has control weather, so that's probably what he's planning to do. Or he could shoot with his bow at the Sphinx at range 4. Xeno is coming forward a little. Just gonna go ahead and dodge. Definitely going to get into the fight next round. I mean, in fact, we're gonna fight a little this round. We'll see. So first, Drizzt is going to go ahead and cast no attack on Xeno. Obviously, Drizzt is going to cast Control Weather. Working on this burst token placement. We'll end up right there. It's legal placement. That's going to ground City Ram and my Gargoyle. Gargoyle ultimately wants to be on the ground to attack, but I might have liked the option of flying on my next turn, and this is going to be real problematic for my Sphinx. Stone Giant has a range to throw his rock at at the air cult rogue at Mortimer Flax. Not using monstrous aim though. It's kind of a risky shot. I'd rather save that for a better option. Hitting a crit though. That's a pretty good roll. He's got 4 defense dice. He's adding 1 for range 4 and then subtracting 1 for Anchoram special ability. He dodged both hits, or hit and crit. So we're on to round 2. The Red Wizard coming forward. Maybe we're gonna go ahead and see him. And he's going to go ahead and concentrate. That'll be for his lightning bolt. There we go. Going to do our gargoyle. First to fight. Alright. And there's a concentrate token. Doing the Ranger, Aaron Creston. It's going to move. I think that's a 2. There he goes. And he's taking a target token. And we'll move on to Mortimer Flax. The Ranger measured to the gargoyle for the target token. The record is within range 2. And that's where Mortimer ends up, and he's just a smidge out of range to get grounded by control weather, so he will stay in the air. That was some very nice maneuvering, and it's really going to pay off for him. And he's going to swoop and target, measure to Xeno for the target just because he can. Range 3 or 4, not sure exactly. Of course, Xeno hasn't moved yet. Onward to Seti Ram. He's going to curve out a little bit. Probably should have just gone straight. In fact, definitely should have just gone straight. I'm not sure what I thought I might get out of coming around the side here. But looks like a target token. Measured at wrist. We know he's in range 1. I could have measured to somewhere a little farther out though if I wanted to do some range finding, but not really. Didn't really help me there very much, I don't think. Owen Montes coming forward again. A little bank. He's pretty good at just barely missing the corners of his buddies there. So basically on this side of the field it's a massive pile-in, which is generally exactly the kind of thing that I try to break up and avoid, but I don't really have any way to do that in this list. Again, maybe Dominator looks like a target token on Owen Montes. Maybe Dominator for Xeno, but in this situation, there's nowhere that's gonna work out for me. Anchoram Stone Giant not gonna quite make it past the gargoyle there. He will target. And next we've got Drizzt. He's got a 1 forward. It's going to push. Or bump, I should say. End up right there. And he's going to feint. Good place to do it. See, if I was facing forward, I would be probably if I'd done for a 1 forward, for example, I would be more or less right on top of that burst token, and not really be. Well, Drizzt might have been able to feint the other way and get me in his bow arc. Hard to say, but definitely wouldn't be facing a melee attack from Drizzt. Not that Not sure if it really makes a difference with his build, whether I'm in melee or ranged combat with him. Anyway. It's not a great maneuver on the part of my Sphinx. And Xeno's just going forward. He will take a concentrate token, thinking about doing a Mind Blast, and let's cheat a little. All right, that is, yeah, that's pretty egregious. I have to watch that. I have this mental conception in my head that since I'm and he did not do that. Anyway, here's the Mind Blast. This is like when you have like a weird growth and all the doctors in the office come and stare at you. We're all trying to figure out what his what his line of fire is. It turns out he's got Drist, definitely. He's got Malabolga, of course, my own dude. What are you gonna do? It's such a sweet, tempting target to Mind Blast. However, I wasn't thinking about the fact that Mortimer Flax is in the air, so I'm not going to be able to get him. I'm going to get Owen Montes, but I'm not going to get the air cult, water cult guy, or the air cult guy for that matter. That I believe is on my own guy. Did one hit. Once again, I get lucky with the rolls on my own guys. It's a signature move of mine. I could teach you, but I'd have to charge. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna attack Drizzt next. It's magic. 4 hits and a crit. Part of the signature move is following up a ineffectual attack on your own guy with a ridiculously lucky roll on your opponent's guy. He's got 2 dodges. He's going to take 2 hits and a crit, and we're going to crush him psychically, so he's not attacking this turn. I believe the crit is dazed. That's a great start on Drizzt. As we'll see, it's going to be tough to make that pay off, as it turns out. This is the roll on Owen Montes. I think I got 1 crit on him. It looks like just 1. I'm sorry, this is actually on the Ranger. That's why he's getting all the defense dice. 3 dice. That is a very edge of range 3. Yeah, Owen Montes was like just out of my arc, which was pretty painful because I wanted to get some damage in on him. It would have been nice to take him off the board this turn, but I wasn't really able to make that happen. Drizzt has no attack due to the Psychic Crush. So we're going to move on to Anchoram, who of course is going to cast Disintegrate, targeting Owen Montes. Here we go. Hoping for a good roll. It's a good roll. 4 hits. No crits though. That would be nice to see a crit. And of course, you would dodge 1, you jerk. Alright. 3 hits. Skillfully spreading the damage around Jay's characters without actually killing any of them. That is excellent. Not really. So now Owen Montes gets to counterattack, but he's actually going to attack the Gargoyle. He's got the arc, just a little bit of my Gargoyle's back arc in his front. So he's going to go ahead and make this roll. And he's got 2 hits and a crit. Or 2 hits. That was an eyeball he's going to target. That's going to give him 2 hits, 2 crits. No, 2 hits and a crit. But his power attack is going to turn one of those hits into a crit. So it's actually 2 crits. Come on, Jay. There we go. I didn't even think about the possibility of dodging one of those crits with an eyeball would with using my concentrate, which is what I should have done because I pulled both double damage crits out of my deck and killed this gargoyle, as you can see. Oh boy. It's a long day at the gargoyle factory. Anyway, Seti Ram has no attack, so we move down to Mortimer Flax. He's going to go ahead and measure to the Stone Giant. And he'll be rolling 4 dice. Anchor M is neutral, so he's not getting the 5 dice. 2 hits. He's going to target 3 hits. One of those could go through, but I'm going to get 3 defense dice. Yeah, goes through. And that's effectively the round. The Ranger had no attack except on the Gargoyle, who was already dead, and the Gargoyle had no attack. Owen Montes was not within range 1 inside his arc, so Gargoyle pretty much went away without doing anything at all. Tough day for him. There's the wizard there taking his concentrate token. He's gonna maybe try to get a lightning bolt in here. He didn't lightning bolt last turn because it would have gone through Drizzt, and he didn't want to take the chance. Given that Seti Ram has +3 dice against spell attacks, it wouldn't have been worth it, I don't think. Still haven't gotten to use that special ability. I guess it kind of makes people not want to shoot him with spell attacks. Well, Ranger moving forward. This pile-up situation is just getting worse and worse for me over here. In retrospect, I think I just let that ground obstacle channel me a little too much. I shouldn't have been so afraid to have Xeno just move through it to have a little more liberty to get in a place where he can do more good. As it is, he's sort of going to turn into this wall of stabby blades here. But that'll be when that happens. Right now we're doing Mortimer. The turnaround, he's exhausted. He's gonna swoop. Keep picking on this giant, or maybe attack Xeno if he gets a chance to do that. Next we've got Seti Ram. He's going to do his own turnaround. Over here. He's going to take off now that control weather spell is expired. And exhaustion token for the turnaround. There we go. And Owen Montes. It's pretty much where he wants to be, so he's gonna come in here. And of course, he's the way him and the Ranger are positioned. They're just gonna stuff any attempt by the Stone Giant to move out of this fight here. Target on Owen Montes, and yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was gonna try to move past him, but I'm just gonna sit there. And action will be a concentrate there. And we'll go ahead and move on to Drizzt. He is running that way. Looks like Jay wasn't thinking about that exhaustion token. I'm not sure. I think Jay just forgot, said he just forgot the exhaustion token. He would have preferred to have taken that off Drizzt instead of moving out there. Xeno coming in. That's not really a bad place for Xeno at the moment necessarily, but things could go south on him. Just maybe spoiler alert. He'll go ahead and take a target token I wasn't totally sure if that was range 1. I thought about doing Dominator. It is range 1, just to bring him where I'm sure, but then I wouldn't get to, wouldn't get to re-roll dice or anything like that. I took the target token because I wanted to measure, but I guess, I could have just taken the concentrate and found out when I tried to attack him. I mean, either way, if I'm not in range 1, I'm not in range 1, so, probably would have concentrated if I had it to do over again, I think. Let's see what the dice say. Hit, crit, eyeball. Blackguard's Mail is going to turn the crit into a hit, and then, well, there you go, 5 hits. So, overall, worked out pretty well. You got 2 defense dice. I think he's going to go ahead and concentrate that. Spend his concentrate token, turn that eyeball to a dodge. So we're, I think that's only 1 damage. 2 damage getting through. 2 damage getting through. So we're going to go ahead and extract his brain, or try to. Yeah. No extracting today. Sometimes you just can't get a good grip on the guy's brain. I think there's going to be no attack on Drist. We're going to go down to Anchoram. He's going to monstrous aim and drop his rock on Owen's head here. So we've got 5 dice. It looks like we've got hit, crit. Pretty amazing roll. That's armor is going to take that. Sure what's happening here. He actually shouldn't get this defense die, I don't think, because I should be using Anchoram's special ability on him. Didn't matter. Hit, crit. I want to say I went ahead and put slammed on him and got rid of that target token. The crit is fatigued, thus the exhaustion token. Anchoram just pretty much unloaded both barrels into Owen Montes between disintegrate and this rock drop, but he's still just barely alive, and that's alive is alive. I think I forgot to mention earlier that Owen Montes had actually used his great sword of life stealing to heal one of his damages from last turn, so that's why he is alive and not taking lethal damage this turn. But now we're gonna see Owen counterattack against Anchoram here, hitting him again. So here we go. We've got a lot of eyeballs in 1 hit. Power attack is going to convert that hit to a crit, though. And Anchoram's going to roll 3 defense dice using his shield, and all blanks. That is not great. Really shouldn't have had to take that crit, but sometimes the dice are against you. I believe the crit is subdued. I forgot to show that to the camera. Next attacker is Mortimer Flax, also attacking Stone Giant. He's getting +2 dice from his 2 weapons. Looks like a crit. I'm only rolling 2 defense dice. Oh, nice. Okay, I tried to show it to the camera, but missed, basically. I think that's crippled, is what that, I believe, is. If it wasn't clear, the 2 defense dice was because, maybe it was, no, it was confused, I think is what it was. That's not going to do anything, so face down. Confuse doesn't affect spell attacks, only spell actions. It was 2 dice because you only get the shield when the enemy's in your front arc. Now we're doing Aaron Creston. He's going to attack. Also, filing on Anchoram, I believe. He's got a hit. Is that a hit crit? Wow, blanks again on the defense dice. That is a... looks like it's a disarm. Doesn't matter, that's enough damage to kill Anchoram. 3 attacks, and not 1 dodge on any of the dice. We'll do that to you. Looks like our little red wizard is going to go ahead and cast his lightning bolt here. And try to hit Zeno. Looks like he's got a hit and a crit. Not a hot rolling right now. Getting extra defense die for the obstacle, and Zeno gets away scot-free. At least someone's light on his feet here. I think he's rolling for Anchoram just for fun. It's not really relevant. He is dead. And there we go. Round 4. Start with a red wizard. Looks like he's going to do a backup. Get an exhaustion token for that. I think he's probably trying to anticipate where my Sphinx is going to be and stay out of his forward arc. And next, Aaron Creston, the Ranger, will be moving. It's just moving a little bit forward to sort of jam up Zeno there. And he will concentrate. Going to Mortimer Flax next. It's 2 forward. I think that's a green for the giant vulture. You can go ahead and stop there. Won't fly over. Obviously, keeping Zeno in his sights there. And he will target. Sphinx is moving. I'm a little frustrated with myself there because when I programmed my dial, I sort of neglected to remember that I had an exhaustion token and I need to do a green maneuver to get rid of that. I did this white maneuver instead, and it's going to leave me with exhaustion, which is a little frustrating. And I think that Wizard snuck. We're going to find he snuck just barely out of my arc. But for the time being, we'll go ahead and do Owen Montes. And I think we're going to... I think he's going to go through. Yeah, looks like... Well, he's not going to get Zeno in his arc, but... Slammed is still on him for 1 more turn, so he's not able to do an action this turn. And we'll move on to Drizzt. Clearing some exhaustion, it looks like, and getting ready to come around and join this dog pile on Zeno here. Looking pretty bad. Not sure what the action on Drist is. He may have re-enabled something, maybe. And for Xeno, I gave him a 2 turnaround, which is just terrible because I have to make an overrun check. Didn't make it, but I still have to take the exhaustion token because it's a red maneuver. I really just dropped a ball in terms of maneuvering this turn. Gonna try to hit this ranger again. Looks like a good roll. See a hit and crit going through unless he dodges. Again, would have been 2 crits except for his Blackguard's mail. Looks like he's going to dodge, and he's taking the crit. Thought he might use his concentrate to get rid of that, but went ahead and took the crit. I'm not sure. Once again, I'm not sure what that crit is. Really, I'm gonna be get a little more consistent about showing those to the camera. We had a routine for a while. I think we kind of got out of it. Oh, here we go. Oh God. All right. Well, there you go. Good intentions, but I missed the camera. Anyway, we should be down to, let's see, no attack on Driz, no attack on Owen Montes. It's going to be all the way down to no attack on. I think we're going to check. Oh wait, Owen Montes does have a crossbow attack at my my Sphinx, so that's what he's going to do right now. So we've got a hit and a crit. Yeah, hit and a crit. 1 dodge. Gonna have to take that crit. It's looking like double damage. Yeah, double damage. Really just pulled those double damages this game. That's the 3rd one. Can't remember how many are in the deck. It's not many more than 3, maybe 4 or 5. Anyway, now we're down to Mortimer flags. And it's 5 dice. He's getting 1 extra die on top of his other 2 because Xeno is evil, so Holy Warhammer gets 1 more die against him. Looks like hit, crit. He's going to spend the target token, pull 1 more hit. That's 3 hits and a crit. Looks like we got 2 dodges, and armor will take 1 of those other hits, so we're just going to take the crit. And not sure if I remember to show that to the camera. Aaron Creston didn't get to attack because Xeno damaged him that turn, so he can't attack Xeno when Xeno damages him. Red Wizard's going to pivot. He's pretty much just trying to stay out of trouble, it looks like. Among other things, Jay doesn't want to give my Sphinx any flyover assists. Aaron Creston looks like he's just going to push forward and bump. And looks like he'll just concentrate, so we should have cleared that token last turn, but that's okay. Same difference, ultimately. He concentrated this turn, so he's got a concentrate token. Mortimer Flax just pushing forward, bumping Aaron Creston. Not clear if he still has Xeno and Arc. I think we'll find that out pretty soon. Oh well, he's gonna go ahead and faint. And I think he was hoping that the backwards move might might get him a better arc, but pretty sure geometrically that's not how it works. Anyway, he'll be exhausted, and we'll move on to the Sphinx. He's going to try to join this party. One bank. That'll clear the exhaustion token. And he's going to swoop and charge. Charging, of course, always you get a lot of value out of that when you have this Sphinx with his pounce and rake upgrades. And given this situation, he can either bump on the charge or he can fly over, depending on how he wants to handle it. It's like Owen Montes is going to pivot, just get a better arc. And Drist, I suspect we're going to see him just turn, yeah, exactly, turn in like that. And Drist will use his action to activate his Panther Guinevere, which is that's happening off the screen. Unfortunately, he just puts 2 time tokens on it, and the Mind Flayer just bumped and cleared his exhaustion, took a concentrate token, and we're going to go ahead and try to get this Ranger off the board so I can actually walk forward with my Mind Flayer. And we'll do the tentacle attack. Looks like we got hit, and turn 2 eyeballs into hits with concentrates. We got 4 hits. See some defense dice. He's going to dodge 1. That's going to leave 1 hit going through, and I think that's enough to kill him. Looks like there's 4 damage on there. So, finally accomplished something. Next we'll go to Drist, and he's going to go ahead and I think do his Panther first, Guinevere, and attack my Sphinx. Hitting a crit, a pretty good roll. I'm going to go ahead and discard evasive maneuvers to get 5 dice on this roll. That'll dodge out of that. I really didn't want to take that crit. Now Drist will make his actual attack. Hit, crit. Just amazing rolls over there. I think I'm taking the crit. And it's going to be shattered. Not sure that's going to matter. I think the Sphinx is might be dead at this point. Or no, he's actually got one hit point left. So at this point, Owen Montes is going to go ahead and with his sword attack the Sphinx. Got hit, and not sure what that was about. He's going to convert with power attack. Got 2 dodges. I took the crit. The crit was stunned. So, yeah. As you can see, not having a good not having a good time. Pardon me. I got a little stuff in my throat. Yeah, I gotta pull the stun crit on that last attack. So my Sphinx, which was set up to, bring a ferocious hailstorm of claws and beaks, did not get to do anything before he kicked the bucket. Just not a good day for monsters at all. So now we're in round 6. Yes, wizard coming forward, taking a target token, and cleared his exhaustion. Ornament Flags, clearing exhaustion. But he's going to go ahead and feint again, this time inside to try to trap Xeno in place. Keep me from getting out of this little kill box here. And Owen Monta is just pushing forward a little bit. So he'll target. And Drist will run up to catch up with everybody, bumping on Owen's base there. And go ahead and target as well. And Xeno is actually going to be able to slip past Mortimer Flax here since he's in the air, but it's in the long run not gonna do me much good. I had Mind Blast activated, so I mean, of the various options, you know, I can't, since it requires a concentrate token, you can't pivot in Mind Blast, you can't turn around in Mind Blast. I forgot that I was crippled, was the crit that came up on, there's a critical effect token to remind me, a little too late. Xeno is crippled, so technically that hard turn was a red maneuver, and I just forgot about that until after I did it. I think I was going to take a dodge token, obviously, but, well. Should be doing Drist now. He's still got his Panther active. I think it gets two turns. Yeah. So we're going to do this Panther first here. 3 hits. Is that 3 hits and a crit? No, 3 dodges. Alright, taking the crit. You can't complain too much about that. I think that's debilitated. Of course, I always think the one with the really long title is debilitated. Anyway. Drist is doing his main attack. Not sure what the holdup is. Alright, there you go. Hit, hit, hit. And spend his target token, just 3 hits. And no defense. That's all good. Well, I think I had one, I think I actually might have had 1 hit point left after that, but maybe not. Anyway, pretty bad performance for monsters overall. Yeah, I tried.